So welcome, beloved Sangha, to our second cooking presentation. Even though we've been told it's really a cooking show. But we prefer to be a little more modest. So today, I have the lovely pleasure and honor to be with two of my sisters. And the first one I'd like to introduce is our chef for the day. And she is Sister Nhan Nghiem. And thank you for the flowers, because I know she's quite nervous, like me. And she will speak in Vietnamese today. She does know English, but because it's the first time she's done anything like this, she will speak in her mother tongue. And to assist us is Sister Taro Nghiem. And she will be our sous chef, as well as our translator. Sister Taro Nghiem has the unique talent of being what I would say a fève. She can speak French, she can speak English, and of course her native Vietnamese. So she will help us to communicate up here. We don't know how it's going to work, but we take refuge in all of you because we know that you're supporting what we're doing. So let us come up here, and we'll let Sister Nhan Nghiem share through Sister Taro Nghiem what she would how she would like to start. Also, everyone make sure earphones in English and French.
Dạ, con kính thưa đại chúng, con kính chào đại chúng buổi chiều. Trước hết con muốn chia sẻ về chuẩn bị trước khi mình đi vào nấu ăn á. Thì trước khi đi vào nấu ăn mình cần phải chuẩn bị các vật liệu mình nấu ăn rồi. Nhưng mà mình cần phải chuẩn bị thêm thời gian. Có nghĩa là mình phải biết cái món ăn của mình cần bao nhiêu thời gian để mình chuẩn bị, để nó không có làm cho mình bị gấp gáp. Đó là cái thứ nhất con muốn chia sẻ. Điều thứ hai con muốn chia sẻ để trước khi mình vào nấu ăn, có nghĩa là mình phải chuẩn bị một cái tinh thần rất là khỏe. Nếu như mà tinh thần của mình nó bị, khi mình đang có giận
It's important to have a peaceful, happy and calm spirit. If we are not happy and calm, if we're agitated and upset, angry, then it's best that we don't do the cooking because our energy would go into the food. And the eater, the person who's eating the cooking, will get all this negative energy from us. So if we are angry, if we are unhappy, that it's best for us to sit, breathe calmly before we do the cooking. And the third thing is that our body, if we are not well physically, it affects our mind. And so we will not have much success in the cooking either. So these are just a few things I would like to share with you before we start demonstrating the spring roll, the fried spring roll, nem in French, chả giò in Vietnamese. 2011.
Năm 2011 thì giờ đến tròn bọn chả giò là một trong những món ăn ngon nhất ở Việt Nam.
It was chả giò. In 2011, chả giò with the fried spring roll has been chosen as one of the international dish. I mean, one of the best dish in the world. So everyone knows this dish. So that is why you would enjoy this dish. And the woman who presented this dish on an international gathering of cooks had used a vegetarian fried spring roll, and she had received this award. And there are many different ingredients for the spring roll. First of all, we have carrot. We need 50 grams of carrot. We have to peel the carrot. And we shred it.
Shred.
Again.
Great.
The grater.
Great.
The grater. So we shred it so that it's thin and long for about 2 or 3 centimeters. We can also use this grater or the peeler, this skin peeler, or we can use something this grater that makes into shreds. And if it's too long a shred, we cut it so that it's about 2 to 3 centimeters long. Necessary. So Sister Tao Nghiêm is an assistant for today.
Remember, she's our sous chef. And I just want to share something with our friends that they can't see, but that we can. And something that's very endearing that most of the sisters practice here. And that is, in addition to making sure our mind and hearts are peaceful, we also like to have a little inspiration nearby. So it may be something you also would like to practice at home.
Thank you.
So the next ingredient. Cabbage. We need about 10 grams of cabbage. Today we are presenting a meal for 4 people. So we need to shred the cabbage just like we do with the carrot. And I have already washed it. We can use this kind of a peeler.
It's always still an amazing thing for me that you can see all of the food that we make is done by hand. Sometimes this can be done with the machines, but for certain dishes like this, we all get together along with the lay friends in our dining hall, and we peel and cut and shred, and a lot of love goes into these dishes.
Sorry, cái dao này nó hơi đùng một chút, con có thể dùng cái này.
Is that
Nếu như mà mình không có dùng cái dao này, mình có thể dùng cái này để mình có thể cắt bớt sữa.
you can use a knife to cut it really thinly.
Now this is the way for me, huh? Good.
And the most important thing when we cut is we relax, we smile, and we breathe. So when I'm smiling, I see the carrot is smiling at me at the same time. When I'm angry with the carrot is angry at me.
Thêm một ít một lửa đấy. Cái tiếp theo nữa mà con muốn giới thiệu đó là khoai môn. Đây là khoai môn con đã được.
And the next ingredient is taro. Taro, I have already peeled the taro. This is how the taro looks like. You can get this taro at any Asian store. Any of these ingredients can be found at Asian store. There are bigger ones, and you can use the bigger ones too, and you can shred it also, just like the carrot.
So Sister Taogim can help me ask my dear sister a question, which is, if for some reason we're unable to come by taro, could we use something else?
Cảm ơn, thank you câu hỏi, thank you. Nếu như mà mình không
If
có
we don't have taro, we can use tomato.
Khoai tây.
I mean, sorry, potatoes.
Khoai tây hoặc là
We
khoai
can
lang
use
để mình có
potato
thể, cho
in
vào cái
place.
vật liệu này. Okay.
But fortunately nowadays there seem to be Asian markets everywhere, so we'll be lucky enough to have it quite authentic.
And apart from the carrot, we have the black fungus mushroom, which Sister Thoại Nghiêm had used the other day. We soak it for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes in water, and it becomes softened. That is, Sister Tao Nghiêm is showing us the mushroom, the black fungus that is not yet, when it's still dry. And Sister Nhã Nghiêm is cutting the one that has been soaked in water for 10 to 15 minutes.
So we just also bear in mind it doesn't take so many of these black ear mushrooms, because it goes from here to the size of our hand. So something for us to calculate when we're preparing the dish.
And
Trong
today we
vật
need
liệu hôm
3
nay mình cần
ears
3
of
tay
those
nấm mèo
black fungus
thì,
mushroom.
để dùng cho nhân bánh cho 4 người dùng.
And the next ingredient,
Tiếp theo đó là
it's the clear
cần
noodle.
noodle
It's the
cũ.
clear mung bean noodle, or you can call it the glass noodle. Sometimes it's called the red
Thì lát nữa.
vermicelli
Đây là
noodle.
một loại bún tàu. Thảo Nghiêm lại dâm cây bún tàu mà
And
mình chưa ngâm á.
this glass noodle you can see
the market.
in a package.
Đó cái gọi đó. Yeah.
You can buy
Đây
it
là bún tàu cũng mua từ tiệm châu Á
from
và đây là
an
cái gói
Asian
bún mà mình
store.
chưa có ngâm.
So we
Thì
take
bún này khi mà
the
mình lấy ra thì
noodle
mình cũng
out
ngâm
and
trong nước
soak it
khoảng
in
10 đến
water
15 phút.
for about 10
Và lấy
minutes,
ra thì nó
15
sẽ
minutes.
nở như thế này.
And it's a long
Và
strip,
còn bún nó dài thế nào mình cũng có thể cắt
long
ngắn lại
string
khoảng 2 đến 3
of
cm.
noodle, but we cut it into strips of 2 to 3 centimeters.
Sư em con sẽ giúp con cắt cái này. Lại dùng đậu xanh.
And the next
Vật liệu tiếp theo đó
ingredient
là
is
đậu xanh.
the mung bean,
Thì
the
đậu xanh
split
là đậu
mung
xanh,
bean.
đậu xanh gói
It's
khi mà mình chưa sử
in
dụng thì nó
a package like
ở trong
that.
cái gói như vậy. Và
And we
mình
use
dùng
20 grams of
20 gram đậu
the
xanh,
split
mình ngâm
mung
trong nước,
beans, and
mình ngâm trong
we
nước rồi xong
soak
rồi
it in
mình xả
water,
cho nó sạch cái nước
soak
màu
it in
vàng, xong
water,
sau đó mình sẽ bỏ lên nồi
and then we
nấu.
boil it
Thì khi mình
until
nấu
it
đậu xanh
becomes
á, mình
tender.
đổ cái nước sắp
We don't need to put a lot of
chứ không được
water.
đổ, không cần phải đổ
Just
nước
put
nhiều.
as much
Và
as
khi
put
nước sắp ngang bằng với đậu xanh và khi
put
mà hết
water
khô nước á,
as
thì
much
đậu
as
xanh
the
nó sẽ
mung
nở ra
bean
như thế này
when we cook
là
it.
được. Và
And this is the mung bean that I have
đây là đậu
already
xanh
cooked.
con đã nấu sẵn.
So about how long do we soak it?
From about 15 to 20 minutes that we soak it in cook it. Sorry.
And you might recognize the mung bean. This is what we had for lunch today. So this is the same. No. I'm sorry, we had lentil today. Just happens to be the same color.
So if you cannot find the mung beans, you can
Use the
replace
lentil.
by the lentil.
The yellow lentil.
Lentil.
The yellow lentil that we had, I now discover, we can substitute. So that's good to know.
Mỗi lần chuẩn bị rất là khó
I
khăn, nhưng
use
mà
a
ở
little
đây là
bit
con
of
chuẩn bị cho 4
these
người ăn
ingredients
cho
for 4
nên,
people.
dùng một thử một ít.
It's
Nhưng mà để
even
quý vị có
you
thể,
can
một lần làm một lần
a
khó
lot.
thì quý vị có thể dùng
You
nhiều
can
hơn
make a
một chút
lot
để,
and roll
nếu như
this
mình-
and put
mình
these
làm tại do
spring
mình có thể
roll
bỏ tủ đá,
in the
sau đó
fridge.
mình có
I mean the
thể
freezer,
từ từ được.
and then
Mình có
whenever
thể
you
làm nhiều
want
lên.
to eat,
Mình
you
không
can
có
take them out
sợ
and
là,
fry them.
làm nhiều nó sẽ bị dư ra. Yeah.
And the next ingredient is
Vật liệu tiếp
the
theo đó là mình
leek.
cần một ít baro.
We also slice it thinly.
Baro mình cũng sắc nhỏ, sau đó mình sẽ bỏ vào nhân.
The filling,
Yeah.
so these are all
Nhân của chả giò là
there
nó có
are
như
to
đây
the
nguyên
filling.
liệu. Và trước khi con
all the ingredients for the filling.
cắt nhỏ, cắt nhẵn ra. Nhẵn hơn chút.
Maybe Sister Taungim can show the camera the bean thread noodle that you're cutting so they can see, maybe against the dark platter in front of you.
This one?
Yeah. That'll do.
Ôi dài quá.
Don't you just love show and tell?
Not good at cooking, that's why I'm sous chef. Sous chef for 7 years, always sous chef.
Ok.
So these are all the ingredients for the fried spring roll.
Bây giờ con sẽ bắt đầu
Now I'm going to,
thì trước
for
khi
the
đặt
carrot
sốt,
and the
bắp
cabbage,
xuống. Thì khi mà mình cho
we add a bit of water. I mean, when we add salt to it, they soften and the water comes out, the juice come out of it.
cái nhân chả do nó cần phải
So
khô.
that's why we put it in a colander instead of a bowl, because we just want to make sure that we drain all the water so that the filling is dry and not wet.
And draining, this is something we learned the other day too, with Sister Twangim, how the salt pulls the water out of the vegetable, but also leaves it open, so that what we put in next is absorbed.
Con sẽ
I
dùng
use this
cái muỗng này để
teaspoon
con đo
to
lường
measure
muối.
the salt.
Thì muối nhân khẩu phần ăn 4 người nó rất
So
là ít.
we
Cho
make
nên
in a serving for
con bỏ vào
4
đây
people, so
nửa
I
muỗng muối
only
này
use half of this teaspoon
và con trộn vào đây.
and I mix it. We wait we leave it sit for about 10 minutes so that the salt can really absorb into the carrots and cabbage, and it will produce juice or water.
Cả cái nhân này cũng được
And
trộn đều
all
lại.
the other ingredients, we mix them together. We mix the leek in as well.
Thank you.
I just want to note that the other day we talked about Holy Trinities. And so we have another one. And this one includes the leek and the salt and eventually the sugar. And it's one of the things that makes Vietnamese food taste so unique.
And when we cut, don't forget to smile, to relax. So that's why when you eat the food here, sometimes you smile, you don't know why. Because when we cook, we smile and we relax. So when you eat, you smile and you relax. This is the secret.
And
I put in the other half of a teaspoon of salt into the mix of the other mix. And also half a teaspoon, sorry, not tablespoon, there, teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of sugar. I noticed on the printout it says half a tablespoon, but it's actually half a teaspoon of sugar. And so she's draining, squeezing out all the juice from the carrot and cabbage, because we want to make sure that the filling is dry, otherwise it will wet the rice paper.
And just so our French friends know, it's actually half a teaspoon of sugar. I think maybe the recipe may say something a little bit different. Isn't this beautiful? Who says that we can't play with our food, huh?
Okay. như vậy là nhân chả
So
giò mình đã
we
làm
finished
xong.
with the filling.
Thì phần nhân làm xong mình sẽ
We
đặt
put
một
it
bên.
aside.
Tiếp tục mình
And
sẽ
we'll continue with
làm bánh
the,
tráng.
with the rice paper to prepare the rice paper.
Đây là bánh tráng đậu xanh.
Here is
Là
the
để mình
rice
cuốn,
paper
cuốn cái nhân chả giò.
made of
Cái bánh
mung
tráng đậu
bean.
xanh này mình mua về từ tủ đá.
It's, when we bought it, it was frozen, and we put it in. We store it in the freezer. And for us to use this paper, we have to leave it out long enough before we use it. Maybe half an hour when it's hot, or an hour, maybe about an hour if it's warm, and maybe longer if the weather is cold, so that it defrosts.
And Sister Yang,
Don't forget to
smile.
Clean giùm nhàng cái. Làm sạch đi.
So again, for our French friends, it's actually mung bean paper and not rice paper for this recipe. So remember, when you go to the Asian market and you get this rice paper, like Sister Taogim says, we smile, and before we put it in the freezer, so that's where it needs to be stored until we're ready to use it.
So it's all in one pack, and we have to peel it off to separate the individual paper, mung bean paper. So we have to do it really mindfully and gently, otherwise we can tear it. So we have one paper, mung bean paper for spring roll.
Trong lúc chờ đợi em Tạo Nghiêm con lại bánh tráng ra thì con sẽ mở bếp để
While waiting for Sister Tao Nghiêm to separate the paper, the mung bean paper, I'm going to turn on the heater of the burner so that the oil can be warm enough by the time we finish rolling these rolls. We use any kind of cooking oil.
Đây là dầu ăn.
And this is corn cooking oil. And we put in 1 liter. When we fry the egg at the spring roll, we have to use a pot instead of.
Nó cần phải dầu nhiều cho nên nó sẽ tốn dầu, cho nên mình cần dùng cái son là tốt. Con đã đóng lương 2 cốc này là 1 lít. Cái chai này là 1 lít cho nên con khỏi cần phải
1 liter. And so instead of measuring, I just pour this 1 liter bottle into the pot.
And just one more thing to note, it's a safety tip as much as anything, is we want to make sure that the pan is very dry. So you'll see that the instructions say, place a small pot, number 6 in English, on a medium fire long enough to dry it, because we know what will happen if water and oil mix while it's heated. So just to make sure that we're aware, we already know that our pot is quite dry, and we're safe enough. And you'll see also momentarily that the artistry really begins with being able to create a spring roll from this paper that's quite fragile.
Trong khi chờ đợi
We
chả
leave
dâu nó
the
sôi thì
oil
con
on
và
the
chị em của con sẽ bắt
burners
đầu
to
cuộn
warm
chả
up
dâu.
to get hot, and
Mình
then
cần dùng một cái
we
khay
can
hoặc
use
là
a
một cái
plate
đĩa.
or a tray for the rice paper.
Cái gì mà đen á. Mình không có cái
If
khay
we
này thì
don't
mình
have
có
a
thể
tray,
dùng
we
cái
can
đĩa này
use
để
a plate
mình đặt vào đây.
like
ạ.
this. And it's a
Cái bánh tráng
square
hình vuông và mình sẽ đặt cái góc
paper,
nhọn này
but
vào
we
cái
have the
cơ
pointed
thể của mình.
edge
Sau
towards
đó
ourselves, and we
mình gấp
fold it
lên
up
khoảng
into
một
a
phần,
triangle, a
một phần tư của cái bánh tráng.
1/4 of the
Cái dọc này của
edge
cái bánh tráng.
of the corner into
và
a triangle.
For me, I put this corner to my heart.
And it's,
It means I do with my heart, wholeheartedly.
yeah, here. Okay.
And another ingredient is the harmony with, if you cook with your friends or your husband or your wife, the harmony when we cook is very important. It's like my sister, she cuts, I clean, and I cut, she cleans. So we work very harmoniously together. And when you eat the food with the harmony, you feel, oh, your stomach is in harmony with your body.
Đến phần
And
cuộn
for
nhân chả
one
dâu. Nhân chả dâu
roll
mình
of
cần một
we
cái chả dâu
put
mình
2
cần 2 muỗng này là
tablespoons
đủ.
of filling.
Và mình sẽ đặt ở phần
Put it
cái
on
phần
the
trên tam giác này.
folded edge.
And when we do everything, when we put the spoon, don't forget to and relax.
Phần tiếp
And
theo
the
là mình
next
sẽ
step,
gấp hai cái bên
we
cạnh
fold
này
up
vào.
the two other, as the left and the right pointed corner over the filling.
Mình muốn làm cái chả giò đẹp thì mình để ý
If
là
we
cái
want to
phần
make
dưới
sure,
này và
if
phần
we
trên
want
này
to
nó
make sure
có
that
thể bằng nhau.
it's a beautiful
Mình làm
roll,
cái phần
that
trên này nó bằng
it's
nhau
an
thì mình
even
cuộn chả giò nó sẽ
fold,
đẹp.
the
Còn
left
nếu như
side and
ở
the right
trên này
side,
nó nhỏ hơn hoặc
it's
là
an
nó to
even
hơn thì
fold
khi
and
mình
not
cuộn chả
like
giò
a
nó
bigger
không có đẹp lắm.
on
Thì
one side.
cái này là thường hay cuộn chả giò thì sẽ biết.
So they're folded up evenly.
Và bắt đầu mình sẽ cuộn
And
cái này lên,
when
mình sẽ
we
giữ
fold-
chặt cái nhân ở trong này lại.
Fold the roll
Và
up,
bắt đầu
that
mình
we
cuộn.
keep it, we hold it tight. We hold the filling really tight to the paper.
Đây là
Here's
một cuộn chả
one
giò.
one spring roll.
Con đã
And one
quên một
thing that
cái
I
đó
forgot
là
to prepare is that we
mình
need
cần tới bột nấm.
tapioca flour to use it like to help the.
Bột năng
I'll
con bỏ
put,
vào để
I
khớp
put
nhỏ một
one
muỗng,
teaspoon
một muỗng bột năng.
of tapioca flour in a cup and mix it.
Và một muỗng bột năng mình có thể
And
dùng
use
hai cái muỗng
two
nước
teaspoon
lạnh.
like that of cold water. We mix it. We
Sau đó
mix
mình
it so
quay cho
that
nó tan bột.
the flour, the tapioca flour is diluted. And next,
Tiếp theo là
we
mình sẽ
add
cho nước nóng vào,
boiling
thịt xông vào
water,
để cái bột này nó
boiling
có thể
water
làm một cái chất
to the
kết dính để mình sẽ dán vào đây.
to this
Cho mình con sẽ cho
this cup
5 cái muỗng này
in
nước
order
nóng.
to make it into like a paste. So I put 5 teaspoon of hot water, boiling water. She's hoping that the water is it's boiled enough. And you mix
Và mình
it.
quay đều. Ok.
Thank you, Sangha.
And the reason we need this paste is so that we help the corner to stick to the roll, like we secure it to the roll, to the end of the roll, so that it would not get open when we fry it. So she's gonna fry it now. She put the chopstick in to make sure that it's hot enough. Remember the other day we put a chopstick in. So to test whether the oil is hot enough, we put the chopstick in the oil and we see the bubble coming up around the chopsticks. Then it's done. The oil is hot enough. Or another way to make sure whether the oil is, to test whether the oil is hot enough, we put a tiny slice of leek in, and to see if the bubble comes up.
Dạ, khi mà thấy cái baro sôi là ok. Khi mình chiên chả
When
giò
we
thì cái chả giò nó cần phải được nổi trên
when we put the roll in,
mình cần phải lăn
it
đều để
will
cho
sort of
cái chả giò mình nó sẽ được chín
it
đều.
floats in the oil, and we turn it now and then to make sure that it's evenly yellow. It's cooked evenly.
So, of course, today we're just going to do a few for demonstration purposes because we don't have so much time. And we know that this evening at dinner, there will be a treat.
When I observe my sisters doing this, some or people in general, if we are tall, we will make this spring roll very tall, like long. And if we are short, we will make it short. If we are thin, the spring roll, when we do it, very thin. And if we are fat, the spring roll is very fat. It's when we observe. If we don't know how to measure or to make it. I'm a little bit short, so you see, this is short.
Okay. I can do this.
Cái này đừng, cái này đừng. Sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Slowly.
You need this one? Oh, yes.
But not that.
Làm gì?
That wasn't scripted. But the good news is, shortly, we have a little surprise. So when they're done, we're actually going to see if maybe a few of our friends would like to come up and try it. But we don't have so much time, so we'll start that in just a few minutes. So we're almost done.
I don't know why I'm not shorter, but my spring roll is shorter than 2 minutes ago. Because of impermanent, our mind change, so the spring roll change.
So maybe if there's a question or two while it's still cooking a little bit, and then when they've done making them, we'll invite a few people to come. So we have a question here. Can we use unfrozen rice paper or mung bean paper?
Okay. Yes.
It's okay?
Yes.
Yes, it's okay. Rice paper instead of mung bean paper, rice
Nhưng mà
paper.
trước khi mình làm cái bánh tráng đó thì mình cần phải thấm một lớp nước cho nó mềm ra, không thôi nó sẽ dễ bể. You translate first. Cái bánh tráng rôn á.
Okay.
We have another kind of rice paper. It's transparent. We can find it in the and we have to put in the water to soften it. It's round like this.
Thêm cạnh nữa, thêm một cạnh nữa.
Could you say it louder so she could hear?
How many nem can you cook in 1 liter of oil?
How many could she cook in 1 liter of oil? So the question is, how many can we cook? How many spring rolls can we fry in 1 liter of oil?
Oh.
A lot, huh?
Yes, a lot.
A lot. There we are. You don't have to worry. 1 liter would be enough for your party.
Okay, the question of my friend here is that other rolls that we've been eating here or that are served in our meals, okay, wait, that are not fried, do you use the same paper, this mung beans paper? Other rolls that are not fried?
For the rolls that are not fried, do we use this mung bean paper or do we use another type of paper? And what type is that? The spring roll.
Maybe our sisters can answer the question for us. Sister Thai Ngim. Our sister is an expert of cooking. I'm just know how to cut, to smile, and to relax.
She was so relaxed the other day, do you remember? Wonderful, very concentrated.
Can I see the cover of the... Yeah, can I see it? Okay. Hi. This one, I don't know where it come from. This is from Thailand. But also there's another kind, just about the same thing, that come from Philippines. And we find out that this one is easy to make this kind of spring rolls because it's soft and it's durable. So when you wrap it, it's much easier. The Chinese people, they have a dish that also use this one and they eat them raw, like this. Mushu something, I think. The traditional spring roll from Vietnam, we use what we call rice paper. It's very transparent, it's thin, and probably in the next couple of days you will get a chance to see it. However, that requires more skill to fry, because if you are not experienced, it can get burned easily. And also, we find out that if you use the other one, when it's not, after a couple hours, it's no longer crispy, it becomes chewy. And that's why, even though we call Vietnamese traditional one, but we switch into this type of wrapping, which is much convenient and much easier for us to do. So if you make the filling, if you cook the filling already, and you just use this one, you can eat them like that too. Just a variation of it. But that's the reason. So the traditional one, we use a transparent, and that's one of the things that you asked, somebody who asked. I think because you had been in Plum Village before, and you saw the other kind of spring rolls. And we hope, I'm not so sure yet, but we hope that you will get a chance to learn how to do it as well. Is it answer your question?
Yeah. Well, you might as well stay, because there's one more.
I don't fry very much at home, so I don't cook in oil like that. So what do you do with the oil afterwards?
First, I think that you don't really need a liter for that. As long as, it depends on the container, as long as the oil is if you dip enough, the roll inside the oil, that's enough. And we use medium heat, so you still can fry the whole batch of it, but when you're done, throw it away. Yeah, don't reuse the oil once you use it. Don't reuse it.
Yeah, what are we doing over here? So
Any other question?
One more over here. The sister with a microphone can help us. So let me just repeat the question. When we use the combination of the vinegar, salt, and sugar to pull or drain the water out of the vegetable, the question is, are we also draining the nutrients out? And so he's wondering about that.
Are you asking about the previous dish or the dish that we are making today?
Both. We did it in both.
Okay. The first thing is we don't use vinegar to drain it out. We use salt only.
And when you use salt, then it make the water of the vegetable come out a little bit, so then it can be easier to absorb whatever flavor that you want it to become. Yes, it's a little bit less nutritional, but you have to sacrifice it if you want to have the dish like that. If not, you can eat them raw. Nobody stop you from doing it. Thank you.
I have a solution. If you don't want to waste the nutrition, you can drink it, and you eat the vegetable after.
If you like salt, you're pretty good. One more here. Yeah.
You shouldn't throw the oil away in the sink.
No.
You put it in the toilet
Or to the déchetterie, or to the waste. The question is about the oil. You shouldn't just throw it down the drain. And how do you get rid of it? So what we do is we collect the oil and we eventually take it to the déchetterie or to the recycle center. So you can check wherever you live and find out from the government or the municipality the best way to dispose of a large amount of cooking oil.
I don't know whether this one's still applicable or not, but I remember in our monastery in Deer Park, we had a car and it reused the oil. It used the oil that we fry, and then it make it into the gas that it can run. And sometimes you stay on that car and you smell French fry. And we actually went to the McDonald's and some restaurant and collect the used oil from them to run on that used car. But I don't know whether they still use it or that car have to be thrown away. Still, huh? Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I remember that, cruising up and down the mountain in Deer Parks with French fry juice. It's pretty good. Are there any more questions?
You can use this rice paper to do the spring roll instead of the other one. So we can buy in Leclerc or in Asian shop. But we have to put in water to soften first because it's very crunchy. We cannot.
And maybe while we're still waiting for it, we could get, my sister wanted to offer a couple of volunteers to come up and to try to roll. Would you like to come up? We have one more here and one more. Come on. Would you like to come? YouTube will be happy to see you. Let's make a little space.
We need one thin people, one a little bit, and one shorter. We'll see how at the end. No, it's just joking.
Cất mấy cái chỗ này cho họ làm. Yes. Lại cái này. Tạo giúp. Cho họ tập mở cái nữa. You can practice open this one, yeah. Yeah, late. That's good.
Everybody got gloves, huh?
Put here. No, yeah. Yeah, then I will put two spoons. Để cho họ làm luôn, để cho họ tập làm luôn.
So our sisters want us to know that you will in fact get a chance to see the frying of the spring roll. We'll take some short footage of it, so when you tune in, and in a week or so onto YouTube, you'll actually be able to see it, because we know it was difficult to be seen today. Okay. Let's see how our experts are doing. Can you, let's see, maybe, oh, bravo,
You need
move over a
this
little
one?
bit.
Yeah. Tăng lên rồi đấy.
Kỵ lửa nó hơi yếu. Chị lo đấy, gần được đó.
Bay cho họ mở ra, bay cho họ làm như vậy.
Let's see if my sister's theory is correct. It's a little bit tall, huh?
Mở cái này ra cho họ lấy cái gọi kia đó. Lấy ra cái kia ra.
Let's just put it here so we can see what you're doing, okay? Okay, so we're folding the triangle and putting in our 2 tablespoons. Okay. Wonderful.
While rolling, what do we do?
We relax and we smile. Breathe.
Right.
You can put it here first, yeah, and you can, yeah.
Wow, we have all these mindful cooks right away, huh? And we roll and hold firmly to keep everything in place. Not so easy, is it? So it takes a bit of artistry. And then we take our paste and we seal it. So we know that when we cook it, it won't explode in the oil. Ooh, wonderful. Okay, so can... we have a thin one and a tall one. So maybe we can allow our friend here to have a chance to... Would you like to step forward? Yes. Okay. Wonderful.
More.
So you see, I don't think... Okay, this one, very interesting. Quite interesting. This one has I think a salute.
This is the tallest.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And there's the finished product. Over there, she's just taking it out of the boiled water. And Sister Taungim can maybe lift the plate so they can see the color of the cooked, yeah. Beautiful. Are there maybe one more that would like to try? I don't know. Do you think you could do it? Together with Mommy. Okay. Maybe,
I can. Okay.
well, this will be wonderfully interesting. So, starting young, huh? This is when we want to instill a mindfulness of cooking. So we remember also that this can be a family or friend activity that doesn't have to be eaten right away, can be put in the freezer for a later occasion.
You forgot to fall here first, yeah, and you put this here. Two spoons. Oh, sorry. Do not. Okay.
Thank you. Is there one more? We have a plate free. Please come on up. The gloves. Get her pair gloves. How's our little one doing? Many hands make a beautiful spring roll.
The same. Yeah, and after that you keep.
Ah.
You keep. Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful. Wow. Woo-hoo.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. So in a few years, she'll be up here teaching us helping us to teach how to do spring rolls. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
I see that is the first time you do it, but you do it very, very well. Thank you. Wow, flowers.
She thinks that's a Mexican taco.
She said she thinks that it's Mexican taco. It's that too. You'll learn about interbeing when you get a little bit bigger. Thank you. Grazie.
Yes.
So when we're done with this, the video is ready to go when we're done? We have a question here. You have a question? Please come to the front.
Can I take you for more a little bit? Here and here the same.
Hi. Hello. Thank you very much. We haven't understood if you don't want to fry, then the ingredients have to be cooked before, or is normally in the traditional cuisine, when it is not fried, the ingredients inside are the same or are different?
Yeah.
Sometimes we find at the restaurants rolls which are not cooked. And my question is, the ingredients inside, are they cooked or are they the same but not cooked, or are different ingredients?
So let me repeat the question. So she's asking that for the rolls, the spring rolls that are not cooked, are the ingredients the same? And do we need to cook those ingredients. We've often had, many of us have had the spring rolls in the softer rice paper. And we noticed that those vegetables are not cooked, but I'm going to defer to our sister who's on her way up to answer the question for us. Thank you for asking.
So I would like to invite our expert sister. She will answer. I just know how to smile, to breathe and relax. Sorry.
I think the answer is depends on what you put inside. These are one of the sample. Sometimes people use different things to put inside, and actually you are invited to experience yourself to change the ingredients. Some people ask whether they can put onions in it. Fine. You can put tofu, fried tofu, or you can put mushroom, any kind that you want. But the thing is, we leave it raw, so then because during the process of frying, it takes a long time, and the heat will make the filling ripen. Cook, put it that way. If you cook it first and during the process of frying, then it will be overcooked. So now if you want to use this and just heat them a little bit so it's hot, and then you use this one, you have to cook this. Because especially for the mung beans, for the clear noodle here, it should be cooked before you eat. And it depends on what you put inside. And I just checked with another sister who will give you the presentation on day after tomorrow, and you will get a chance to see how you can eat them raw. Today you learned the fry one, and you will get the raw one on the next 2 days. And believe me, everyone will have to wrap it yourself. So this is a challenge at the end of the so-called retreat, cooking retreat. Thank you.
So I hope you've been taking really good notes, because on that day she's talking about for dinner, we will make our own rolls. Was there one more question?
When we freeze the spring rolls and we take them out to cook it, do we do it straight away or do we have to first defrost it? After we freeze the spring rolls and we want to cook it, do we need to defrost it first or do we take it out of the freezer and fry it straight away?
Okay, my experience is when you take it out from the freezer, then as long as you can hold it, because it's kind of stick together, if you make a whole bunch, you should fry it right away. If you wait for it until defrost, it will become very mushy, and it won't work, because one is mushy and you put into the oil, then the water will come out, and you know what's happening when oil meets water.
So when we fry it, in general, we put it on medium to low heat to fry a long time so the inside will cook. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
And also because when you wrap it, it's like many layers. And so if you cook with high heat, the outside can turn golden brown, but the inside still like this. Of course, it's still edible, but it's not good. It's not crispy enough.
One of our cooks left a couple rings. Don't want those to get lost. Okay.
Could you film this? I think this is so beautiful. Oh, one important thing is I guess all of you know about this, but just to be sure, after you take the spring roll out from the oil, make sure you put them into the paper towel so that it can suck off all of the excess oil, if possible. And basically, when I do it, then when I take it out from there, sometimes I put them like this, so the oil can go at one end and drip out of the roll. And this is a sauce. You can make your own sauce, but to be easier, this is a sauce that they sell in the Asian store. And this is sweet chili sauce. Let me see the ingredients. I think it's okay. The reason I'm saying that is because sometimes it might have some other thing in that we are not aware of. And this is sugar, water, red chili, garlic, salt, cornstarch, and some preservative.
Okay, so my sous chef.
So in conclusion, in order to make spring roll, we need some ingredients. My sister will read this for you one more time, so if you write the note, you can check again.
So I think everyone has this, correct, in French and English. And we have, of course, the bean thread or glass noodle. We have the 3 ears of the black fungus mushroom. So this is another primary ingredient in Vietnamese cooking. We have the peeled split mung beans. We have the carrot, the taro, the cabbage. All these are shredded. And then 1 leek, sliced thinly with sugar and salt. Remember the Holy Trinity. And then to make the paste, we have the 1 teaspoon of tapioca flour with a teaspoon of cold water and 5 teaspoons of boiling water. And just to back up a moment, on this recipe it says 1/2 tablespoon of sugar, but in fact she used 1/2 teaspoon. And then the cooking oil and spring roll paper. So now I think we're ready to show a 2-minute clip of the actual frying of the spring rolls.
Sorry, sister, can I add some ingredients? So we can put more ingredients in the spring roll. The second one.
She's also quite a good calligraphist, huh? Beautiful, huh?
The third one. Yes. And the last one is if we cook together with someone else. Harmony. Thank you.
So I'd like to invite my sister to come up for some closing words before we show the video.
Và con hy vọng là đại chúng sẽ mang cái món chả giò này về để cúng dường cho mọi người và làm hạnh phúc cho mọi người ạ. Dạ con xin hết.